Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Hawkins,
And I'm Jessica Thiessen.
and welcome to English 9 Honors. We are going to be your child's teachers this year, and we're very excited, very grateful that you guys could join us tonight to learn a little bit about the course. So what I thought we would do is just kind of walk you through and give you a brief overview as to who we are as people, and then talk to you a little bit about the course and some of its expectations and what your kids are going to be learning this year. So let me just pull up this PowerPoint really quick so you guys can see. All right. All right, so I put my contact information out there just so that you guys can get in touch with me in the easiest way. My phone number is up there, but I also put my email because that's probably the best way to get in touch with me throughout the day. And then, when I am available, like when I have off periods. I also teach English 12 Multiple Perspectives, which is a senior course. And so I get to see kind of the full spectrum with freshmen and seniors in one day.
Yeah, and I'm Jessica Thiessen. There's my phone number as well. Email, again, is the best way to contact me. That's when I'm available, first, fourth, and fifth. And then I'll be teaching English 9 Standard and English 12 Multiple Perspectives in addition to English 9 Honors.
All right, so just a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Lindsay Hawkins. This is my 14th year teaching at North. I am also the head girls volleyball coach, so that takes up a lot of my time in the fall. These are just some pictures of me with the volleyball teams, both the boys and the girls. Because yeah, that's a big part of what I do here at North. And then also a big part of my life is obviously my great family. Those are my kiddos, my 3 kids. We are actually expecting 2 more in December, so we will be a very, very busy family. And then my husband, who is a counselor at St. Charles East. So we are super invested in this community, have been for a while. Our kids go to school in district, and so we're here to stay.
Yes, and here's a few pictures just about my life. There's my family. I have 3 awesome siblings. I have an adorable dog. I'm student teaching from Wheaton College, so that's where I've been for the past few years. So I've really loved it. I love being in the area. And then that picture there at the bottom is what my summer was filled with. I was a camp counselor with high schoolers, so that was really enjoyable. Love working with high schoolers. So yeah, I'm excited to be here this semester.
All right, so I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about how English 9 Honors works, because I think a lot of parents always have questions about what we're going to be teaching the kids and how the course is designed. So the biggest thing is that this is a very skills-focused course. The other English 9 Honors teachers and I kind of sat down and really honed in on like what are the big 4 skills that we can teach these kids, and skills that are not just good for English, but they are lifelong skills. And so we really focus in on reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So those are the skills that are kind of repeated throughout each module that we do and throughout the whole year. So there are some classes, especially English classes, where I think they have like a speaking unit where they're just focused for however many weeks on speaking. And that's really not how we like to do things. We think that, these skills are super important. So we need to keep building on them throughout the year and keep repeating them. So in every single unit that we do, your kids are going to be practicing and be assessed on their reading, their writing, their speaking, and their listening. Now, sometimes that could look like, small group presentations. Sometimes it could look like a full-blown speech. Sometimes it could look like small writing assignments where they're just writing 1 paragraph. And sometimes it could look like a writing assignment where they are writing a 3 to 5 page essay. But we are constantly trying to build in those skills and build upon them so that by the end of their freshman year, they have kind of gotten to a very competent level with all of those skills and not just spent, a few short weeks here and there on each of them. So the units are really guided by the skills and not necessarily, a specific text or a specific question, but really those skills are kind of the most important thing that we do. Here's kind of an example of like our very first module that we're working on right now, actually, where the focus is really on the human condition. And so we're kind of asking them questions about like what makes us human and how does the literature that I read and write shape my perception of what the human condition actually is. So because we're so skill focused, we're doing a lot of just looking at different short stories. We will also read a novel towards the end of this unit. And we're really trying to apply different types of reading strategies to each of those short stories. So Jessica, do you want to talk just a little bit about what we're doing right now?
Yeah, so lately we've been reading a few short stories, and we're really just trying to work on the basic fundamental foundation of how authors create literature through literary devices, creating mood, building a theme over the course of a short story, and really just looking at these, I guess, skills and techniques and seeing how they actually apply and seeing where we can find them in the text. So that's what we've been working on lately. And as we move forward, we're taking those skills and really looking at, okay, each of these authors are making their works really intentional. They're using intentional techniques and skills to get across a message. So how can we, number one, recognize that and engage with that in the literature, but then also how can we try to create that in our own writing? So that's where we're headed for the future.
Exactly. Yep. So you can see kind of how those skills, especially reading and writing in this first one, are being incorporated. And throughout this unit too, we'll also do a lot of like small group discussion, whole group, large, class discussions as well to get that speaking and listening component in too. I think a question that I always get is like, what is the difference between honors and standard? And one of the things that I tell the kids is that there are going to be a lot of times where you hear your standard friends saying that they're reading the same book as we are. And that may be very true. I know, especially like at the end of this unit, we're going to be reading of Mice and Men. The standard class is also going to be reading of Mice and Men. So what is the difference? The difference is that we have higher expectations and a lot more rigor with what we actually do with that book. So yes, that book, the reading level is, they're going to be reading the same novel as our standard friends, but what we do and how we apply the skills is much, much more rigorous than what they're doing with the standard class. So I think that, that's one of the big things. I think also I tell the kids is that because there's more rigor, they can expect to be working a little bit harder at home and applying some of these concepts on their own. And we have a little bit more like higher expectations for the writing that they're able to produce. I always tell my kiddos that this is the foundational class where you really learn how to write, especially argumentative writing. And I have kids, because I teach seniors, I have kids who tell me, during their senior year, like that was the course freshman year where I learned like everything that I know about writing. And, from there, like their sophomore and junior, senior year, they were really building on it. But that freshman year is so foundational for learning about how to write and just kind of getting all of those skills that they need to really be good communicators even into the real world. And so I think that in the honors course we have a lot higher expectations for the knowledge that they're coming into with us with writing, and then the work ethic that they're going to put into reach the standards that we set, because that's one of the things that makes a difference too in our honors classes, that you don't always have to be the smartest kid, but the work ethic that you have is really super important in this class. So yeah, I think that there is a big difference between honors and standard, and we can clearly already see that grammar is one thing that we're going to need to work on. I think grammar has kind of fallen to the wayside in the middle schools, so that's going to be one of the things that we are trying to pick up. And even in this first unit that we've been working on, Jessica and I have been incorporating grammar to really help them become better narrative writers. So everything that we do, we're going to try to sprinkle in some grammar to make sure that these kids aren't leaving high school with no grammar whatsoever. So this is just a couple of highlights of the course and like what we're going to be, what class text we're going to be looking at. We do do a lot of independent reading too. We really want to push the kids to be reading and engaging in reading for fun. So, we set aside time every week to just allow the kids to kind of unwind and get lost in a book. But then we also have these class texts that we ask them to read as well. And so, like I said before, at the end of this first unit, we will be reading Of Mice and Men. Some of the other big texts that we definitely will read are the Odyssey, Romeo and Juliet, and then I've put some other ones up there because we might be reading those as well. Throughout the year, we've got 4 modules of study. We call them modules instead of units. It's really synonymous. But we've got 4 big modules where, again, we're focusing on all 4 of those skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking, with just kind of a different thematic question that guides each module. It's a pretty standard grading policy where, they are assessed through their essays, through their presentations, their speeches, their class discussions, their homework, and then also, some tests and quizzes as well. So nothing, too different from other courses, but we wanted to make sure that you guys had an idea of where, all these grades are coming from. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the course. We are very, very excited to, be back to normal and be back with all these kids. I think it's great just seeing their faces every day and getting to interact with them. They seem very grateful to be in the class and kind of lively too. So that's been really fun for us. And we just thank you for sharing your kids with us for this small portion of their lives and allowing us to teach them. So thanks for stopping in.
Thank
Hope to see
you.
you guys soon.